morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to the latest edition of Global Atheist News Roundup, dateline 9th of December 2023. Of course, we are all appalled by what's going on in Israel. It's definitely related to religious division, and we will address it in this week's Views on the News show. Meanwhile, here at Global Atheist News, we're going to focus on the rest of the world because the Israel conflict is being adequately covered by mainstream news. This week's headlines. An attack near the Eiffel Tower left 1 dead and 2 injured. A Muslim preacher is concerned that protesters might include homosexuals. The wife of Scotland's First Minister, El-Nakla, voiced her hatred for Israel outside Holyrood House. Armenian Christians battle developers to keep control of their corner of Jerusalem. Recordings show how the Mormon church protected itself from child sex abuse claims. Daddy Yankee is the latest star to trade the charts for church. Armed forces in the UK are to recruit their first non-religious pastoral officers. And an Australian Labour colleague reflects on Peta Murphy's sad death and refers to her silent protest of the parliamentary prayer ritual. A German man has died and 2 others, including a British man, have been injured in a knife and hammer attack on a street in central Paris. The attack occurred near the Eiffel Tower late in the evening of Saturday last. A 26-year-old French man was arrested and anti-terrorism prosecutors opened an investigation. Prosecutor Jean-François Ricard said the suspect had pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group. Monsieur Ricard told a briefing on Sunday that the suspect, Armand R., a French national born in France to Iranian parents, made the pledge in a video posted on social media. He converted to Islam aged 18 and was imprisoned in 2016 for 4 years after making plans to travel to Syria to join IS. Police said he was supposed to be following treatment for psychiatric problems. Monsieur Ricard added that the suspect had been under surveillance for suspected extremism and that 3 associates, including members of his family, had been detained for questioning. Earlier, it was revealed that the victim killed in Saturday night's attack was a German tourist who worked as a nurse. France's Interior Minister, Gérald Darmanin, said the victim was with his wife when he was attacked and fatally stabbed on Quai de Grenay. He said his wife's life was saved by the intervention of a taxi driver and the suspect fled across a nearby bridge. After crossing to the north side of River Seine, he attacked 2 more people, a French man and a British tourist, who was hit in the eye with a hammer. The suspect was then tasered by police and arrested on suspicion of assassination and attempted assassination in relation to a terrorist enterprise. See this video. A Muslim preacher worries about the possibility that the Palestine protests might include women and men who take it in the backside at night. See this video.
Guys, protesting in and of itself, is it haram? The strongest view, I haven't seen any evidence to say that it is. But are there things that happen at protests that could be haram, that are absolutely impossible to escape? For example, free mixing with women, at the very least. men and women mixing with each other. Is that not something that is necessary at the protest? Yes or no? Let's not talk about other things. Let's not talk about the salah time that gets missed. Let's not talk about what? Standing next to what? A guy that's going to take it in the backside at night. Because that's what you're protesting with. That's what you're protesting with. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. At the very least, is it not that men and women are coming and mixing together? You're going to stand, your sisters are coming out of their houses. Well, if you can stay in your house. And if you come out, sister, make sure it's in the car or at the very least a jilbab. At the very least a jilbab. But she's coming out with makeup, nothing. Because it's not deen of Allah, but it's humanitarian cause. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So then, is Allah going to give victory to people that are disobeying Him outright? Like, if Allah is from above the heavens and the earth, but above His throne, He's looking down at these people who are protesting, not even asking Allah for help, asking kuffar to intervene. And they're with what? They're free mixing. I remember I said this in a video once, and people really got angry with me. One guy wanted to physically attack me because he was like, people are being killed and you're saying you're worried about free mixing. I'm like, brother, wallahi, you're a shaitan. Wallahi, you're a shaitan, man. Because victory only comes from Allah. If you leave the free mixing, the victory will come. That's the point. That's the point. Leave the sins, brother. If you leave the sin, Allah will give you victory. You will be given victory.
1 week after the attempted genocide by Hamas on Israeli festival goers, the wife of Scotland's First Minister, El-Nakla, voiced her hatred for Israel, surrounded by carefully placed propaganda messages outside Holyrood House. See this video.
The Israeli government, that they are not taking that because they're doing it right. Leaving babies to rot. So happy when I saw the innocent Israeli hostages released. And then I saw the Palestinian child broke my heart because the UK news reported that they were under 18. They were children.
Yeah!
Our Palestinian lives are not valued. Let's all believe with the bunches. She was killed and not on every single newspaper. So shit. We have people and we have peaceful resistance and everyone belongs with us. But we will not be silenced. To Muhammad, to Bassam, to one, and all of those sharing the truth and that we stand here protecting all of you. And we hope that raising our voice will protect you. All the Palestinian people want is peace, safety, and security. A few weeks ago, my brother Muhammad called me, and I made a promise to him that children will live in a peaceful world. And if his children will follow their dreams, I promise that will happen. And every day I worry that I will have to make my promise to him. But as long as I have air in my lungs, I will stand for justice across the world. But I will use my voice loudly to stand for the justice in Palestine and to demand an immediate ceasefire. To every single one of you here, do not ever give up and do not stop using your voice.
Amid the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas in the Gaza Strip, another battle is playing out in Jerusalem among its small Armenian Christian community. Their own patriarch and an Australian-Israeli businessman is said to be set on taking over the Armenian quarter of the Old City. Last month, things escalated as Jewish settlers, aided by dogs and bulldozers, disrupted a long-running sit-in a site known as the Cow's Garden, which is currently a parking lot, where businessman Danny Rothman plans to build his latest hotel. Rothman's company, Zana Capital Group, made a secret deal in 2021 with the Armenian Christian Patriarchate to lease a swathe of the Armenian Quarter, including part of the Armenian Theological Seminary and several family homes. When the deal became public, the local community rebelled, and a priest who oversees the church's real estate was defrocked, and Patriarch Nurhan Manouchian's leadership came under question. This is land that belongs to the Armenian community for centuries. Levon Kalajian, a Jerusalem-born Armenian, told Religious News Service, "This does not belong to the Patriarchate, nor is it for him, the Patriarch, to do whatever he wants to do with it." Armenians have had a presence in Jerusalem since the 4th century, when Armenia became the first sovereign state to convert to Christianity. Some of Jerusalem's Armenians trace their heritage to pilgrims who came to the holy city nearly that long ago, while others arrived from the former Ottoman Empire, fleeing the Armenian genocide in 1915 and 1916. Today, the smallest of the 4 divisions of Jerusalem's old city, the Armenian Quarter, is considered separate from the larger Christian Quarter, where Palestinian Christians speak Arabic and worship in Greek Orthodox or Catholic churches. In the spring of 2015, Chelsea Goodrich, then a 29-year-old graduate student in psychology living in Southern California, began to confront disturbing memories. While her peers dated and created lasting relationships, she was filled with anxiety and dread at the prospect. "Instead of wanting to have a relationship, I just remember feeling terror and confusion and kind of disgust, like all at once, about it," she said during a series of interviews with the AP, Associated Press. Her memories included several occasions when her father, John Goodrich, slipped into her bed at night in their house in Mountain Home, Idaho, to spoon her while he was aroused, pushing himself against her backside. On one occasion, when she was 9, she remembered her father had apologized to her for being aroused while they were playing in the family swimming pool and told her not to tell her mother, Lorraine. The last incident, Chelsea recalls, occurred during a field trip to Washington, a school field trip, where her father admits he climbed into bed with her in a state of arousal and slipped up close behind her. John Goodrich admitted that during a recorded conversation with Chelsea, Lorraine, and one of Chelsea's brothers. Lorraine and Chelsea had been recording their confrontations with John about the alleged abuse, which they would later turn over to the police. While grappling these memories, Chelsea met a Mormon friend who she came to trust and with whom she shared these unsettling remembrances. Her new friend told her that her father, Paul Ritting, was a high church official who often dealt with sexual abuse complaints, and suggested that Chelsea should contact him. Unbeknownst to Chelsea, who believed Ritting's main responsibility was to aid victims, at that time he was deeply involved in defending the church in a highly publicized West Virginia child sex abuse lawsuit. Several Mormon families had accused the church of allowing a Mormon sex abuser, Christopher Michael Jensen, to babysit for their children, whom he allegedly abused. Jensen was sentenced to serve 35 to 75 years in prison after he was found guilty of abusing 2 of the children. Chelsea and Lorraine also let Ritting know that church officials may have known about John Goodrich and his daughter for years. John told them in conversations that were also recorded that he'd repented, details of his relation with Chelsea, to several local church leaders. Ritting told them that church leaders said they did not recall hearing any such confessions. Then, 10 days after John's arrest in Mountain Home, another woman stepped forward with additional allegations of sex abuse after learning of the case against John. The 53-year-old single mother accused him of having non-consensual sex with her after giving her the drug Halcyon, a controlled substance that John often used to sedate patients during dental procedures. She alleged that Goodrich drugged her the previous July after she cut off a sexual relationship with him. Puerto Rican superstar Daddy Yankee has announced he's giving up music to devote his life to religion. The star, known for UK hits like Despacito and Gasolina, revealed the news to fans at the final show of his La Última Vuelta world tour. Living a successful life is not the same as living a life with purpose, the 46-year-old rapper told the crowd. For a long time, I tried to fill an emptiness that nobody could fill, he added, saying faith had saved him. That's why tonight I recognized and am unashamed to tell the world that Jesus lives in me and that I will live for him. It's an abrupt change for one of the leading voices in reggaeton, the sexually charged street-smart style that emerged in Panama and Puerto Rico in the 1990s, blending reggae music with Latin American dancehall music and hip-hop. As he finished his last ever show at the packed Coliseo de Puerto Rico in San Juan, the star thanked his fans for their support and urged them, "Follow Jesus Christ, who is the way, the truth, and the life," as a group of drones flew over the stadium, forming the shape of a cross. The UK Ministry of Defence has announced that it will recruit non-religious pastoral support officers for the first time to operate alongside religious chaplains. The intention is to recruit 3 staff members, 1 each for the Army, Navy and Royal Air Force. Humanists UK and its section Defence Humanists have been working with the MOD and Humanists and Non-Religious in Defence on this outcome for many years now, and Humanists UK will be endorsing authority through its non-religious pastoral support network. Today, they have welcomed this news. The new positions are for uniformed non-religious pastoral officers on the same terms as chaplains within the armed forces. Peta Murphy was an Australian politician. She was a member of the House of Representatives from 2019 until her death in 2023, 4 years after her breast cancer returned. She represented the Victorian seat of Dunkley for the Australian Labor Party. Her colleagues have paid tribute to her intellect and empathy. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese offered an emotional tribute for Ms. Murphy, who he described as empathetic and intellectual. She was a principled lady who did not take part in the pre-sitting prayers. See this video.
She was the same in her approach to all matters, large or small. I remember in her duty to this place, she would arrive for the start of Parliament each morning. Then in her duty to her ideals, she would wait in the members' lounge in silent protest to remind herself and anyone else that we are a secular and multi-faith society, and that one prayer can no longer represent all Australians.
Shortly on this channel, you can watch Tercia and I chat with guest Diogo Duarte, a Portugal resident who has views about living in that Roman Catholic country and will talk about creationism and other issues. And don't forget to watch Views on the News, the show where our opinionated panel give their views on the items I've just reported on. This has been Global Atheist News. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.